Meanwhile, James sat in the jail visitors' room with May's grandmother. Her eyes were sharp, calculating, fixed on him as she asked if he had decided, if he had come to give the answer she wanted. James cleared his throat, nodded, and told her that, indeed, he had decided. May's grandmother's gaze didn't waver, silently waiting for him to continue. James admitted that she was right, that he had been depending on May all this time. What he valued most were his family and his children. The thought of them becoming orphans while he and May rotted in jail was unbearable. They needed a present parent. He leaned in, his voice resolute, stating that he would take her advice. He would take all the blame for the crimes they had committed, the kidnapping, stalking, and attempted murder, and let May walk free so she could care for their children. May's grandmother let out a small smile, her expression softening slightly as she looked at him. She told him she knew he was smart and that she would find the best lawyer to secure at least a lesser sentence for him. As she began to stand and walk away, James stopped her, his eyes pleading, asking for a favor. The old lady turned to him, curious, asking what he needed. James spoke of his son, uncertainty threading his voice. He wasn't sure if the caretakers were looking after him properly, and asked her to take him in. The old lady chuckled softly, leaning in slightly, her eyes glinting as though amused by his ignorance. She told him that it seemed he was unaware. James's brow furrowed in confusion, panic creeping in as he asked what she meant, demanding to know if something had happened to his son. May's grandmother, still smiling, told him the truth. His son was staying at Liwei's house. The very person they had considered an enemy was now caring for their child. She shook her head, laughing softly, remarking on the unpredictability of life. James sat frozen, shock coursing through him. His mind raced with thoughts of safety, but he gradually calmed, realizing that Amara was present at Liwei's house too. The little boy was her half-brother, and she would not harm him. Perhaps it was best that he stay there for a while. It would be safer. Amara was kind-hearted and would care for him. Elsewhere, Amara slowly opened her eyes, her head throbbing from the hangover. She reached out for Liwei, only to find the side of the bed empty. She called out softly for him, but he wasn't there. Sitting up straight, she noticed hangover medicine on the bedside table. She picked it up, a small smile forming as she realized he had left it there for her. Her eyes fell on a note beside it, and she read it carefully. He told her to take the medicine and that he had important business to handle, but would be back to take her home. A warm smile spread across her face as she glanced down at her engagement ring, touching it gently, marveling at how her life had turned upside down in the most beautiful way. Her birthday had been the best ever, and Liwei had done so much for her while she felt she had done so little in return. Determined to make it up to him, she grabbed her cell phone and began searching for gifts, her eyes focused and determined to find the perfect gesture for the man who had shown her nothing but love. In the other room, Momo slowly opened her eyes, her head pounding. She turned and froze as she realized she was not in her bed. Her eyes widened in disbelief as she tried to piece together what had happened. Panic surged through her as she noticed someone sleeping beside her, Kai. She screamed, a sharp, sudden sound that jolted him awake. Kai's eyes shot open, and he instinctively shouted when he saw her. He scrambled up, staring at her in shock, demanding what she was doing there, why she was in his bed, and how she had ended up in his room. Momo, still stunned, told him she should be asking him the same questions, and admitted she didn't know how she had ended up there. She immediately stood, asking if they had slept together. Kai, bewildered, reassured her that it was impossible. They hadn't. Her heart racing, she stepped closer, trying to understand the situation. Kai's gaze locked on hers, tense and unreadable, and he instinctively pulled her closer, holding her in place. Momo's pulse quickened, her eyes wide as she asked him what he was doing. He didn't respond, letting the silence stretch as he leaned in, his proximity overwhelming. Her breath hitched as he inched closer, as though he were going to kiss her. And then, panic surging through him, his hands began to shake, and he abruptly let go. Momo's confusion was palpable, her voice trembling as she asked what was wrong. Kai told her not to worry and reassured her that they hadn't become intimate. Momo turned to walk away, still shaken, when the door suddenly burst open. Both she and Kai froze as Ming appeared, his expression breathless, eyes wide as he took in the scene. Silence hung heavy in the room, the tension between the three palpable, every heartbeat loud in the quiet before him.